Let's get right into it. Spend 5 minutes online and you'll come to a simple conclusion. BMW has completely lost its mind. Both diehard fanatics and just casual observers, everyone seems to agree. Their new designs, people are calling them offensive, an outright betrayal, a slap in the face to everything the brand ever stood for. I mean, the giant vertical kidney grills on the M3 and M4 were just the opening act. Now, we have the absolute monolith that is the XM, the incredibly polarizing 7 Series with its split-deck headlights and a whole fleet of electric cars that look like they drove straight out of a sci-fi movie. The internet has declared war on BMW's design department. And yet, while the comment sections burn, BMW is quietly winning a much, much bigger war. A war fought not with angry Instagram posts, but with signed purchase agreements. Their sales are on an absolute tear. For the 14th straight year, the M division has shattered its own sales record, delivering over 213,000 cars in 2025 alone. For that same year, the wider BMW group shipped over 2.4 million cars, holding its position as a global leader in the premium segment. And even in a fiercely competitive market, they are seeing incredible growth in their electric car lineup. So what is the cheat code here? This is a calculated and audacious game. In this video, we're going to break down the strategy and expose how BMW turned all of that online outrage into its single most powerful marketing weapon. To understand the rage, you first have to understand the love. For decades, BMW was selling a design philosophy. Just think about the E30 M3, the E39 M5, or the E46 M3. They were the benchmarks for the entire industry. They were defined by their clean, taut lines, their driver-focused cockpits, and that perfectly proportioned kidney grille. A subtle mark of elegant aggression that was 100% BMW. This was the brand's golden age. The designs evolved, but they did so gracefully, with a clear and respectful lineage from one generation to the next. This careful evolution built an incredibly loyal, almost fanatical following. People who saw the brand not just as a manufacturer, but as the sacred keeper of the ultimate driving machine promise. This deep-rooted legacy is precisely why the new design language feels like such a personal attack to so many enthusiasts. But to also understand what's happening now, we have to rewind the clock to the first time BMW decided to light a match and watch the world burn. The year is 2001. BMW pulls the silk cover off the brand new E65 7 Series, and the automotive world collectively recoils in horror. Designed under the infamous Chris Bangle, it was a radical, shocking departure from everything that came before it. It had a layered dashboard, a bafflingly complex new system called iDrive, and most notoriously, a high, unconventionally shaped trunk lid that critics immediately and viciously nicknamed the Bangle Butt. The backlash was biblical. Critics, magazines, and the brand's own fans were absolutely brutal, calling it a confusing, disjointed mess that had single-handedly destroyed the brand's classic, understated style. It was seen as an unforgivable act of aesthetic vandalism. But then, a funny, and for BMW, very profitable thing happened. People started buying it. A lot of people. The supposedly disastrous E65 7 Series went on to dramatically outsell its stunning, universally beloved predecessor, the E38. And that iDrive system that everyone despised, it evolved, was copied by nearly every competitor, and is now a central, celebrated part of virtually every modern luxury car on the road. I think BMW's boardroom learned a monumental lesson this day. Controversy creates conversation. Outrage is free publicity. And that publicity, even when overwhelmingly negative, puts your product at the absolute center of the cultural universe. The E65 was a playbook, and 20 years later, BMW is running that very same play, just on a much bigger, much louder stage. Fast forward to today, the G80 M3 and G82 M4 launch, and their massive vertical kidney grills dominate every headline and social media feed. They're compared to everything from a pig snout to rabbit teeth, but that was only the beginning. The all-electric iX soon appeared with its sealed-off monolithic grille, followed by the hulking, brutally aggressive XM, a flagship SUV that feels like it was designed with the express purpose of being provocative. And the latest 7 Series and i7, with their split headlights and crystal-adorned fixtures, are moving even further away from the classic BMW face. For the old-school fans, this felt like the final nail in the coffin. It was perceived as a deliberate middle finger to the brand's heritage and to the loyalists who cherished it. The head of design, Adrian van Hooydonk, and his team have remained completely unapologetic. They argue that in a packed, noisy market, the worst crime you can possibly commit is to be invisible. They have openly stated that the controversy itself is a key indicator that they're succeeding in their mission to stand out. They want to build cars that you remember, cars that spark a debate, even if it means alienating some of their traditional fans along the way. So why is BMW doing this? Why are they intentionally pushing designs that a very vocal portion of the internet claims to despise? It all comes down to a carefully orchestrated three-part business strategy. First, radical differentiation. The luxury car market is more crowded and competitive than ever before. You have the age-old rivals like Mercedes and Audi, but also a flood of new school, high-tech competition from all corners of the globe. BMW's leadership looked at a sea of anonymous, wind tunnel-tested jelly bean shapes and made a huge bet. It's better to be hated by some than to be ignored by all. Those bold and to some ugly designs are a powerful visual anchor. You know it's a new BMW from a block away, for better or for worse. It's instant, unmistakable brand recognition, and they are never, ever mistaken for anything else. Second, the global market, specifically China. For years, China has been a gargantuan market for German luxury brands, and aesthetic preferences there are simply different. There is a strong cultural appetite for bolder, more expressive designs that telegraph status and success. In this context, bigger grills, flashier trim, and more dramatic features are often seen as powerful symbols of luxury and prestige. So while BMW needs to appeal to established tastes in Europe and the US, they absolutely cannot afford to ignore the preferences of one of their biggest and most crucial markets. This forces them into a design balancing act, creating cars that can work globally, even if they come across as a bit loud for traditional Western sensibilities. And third, form follows function in the electric age. There's also a deeply practical reason for that giant grille. On models like the iX and i7, it's not just for show. BMW calls it an intelligence panel. Instead of an open radiator grille, it's a smooth, sealed surface that houses the complex array of cameras, radar, and sensors required for modern driver assistance systems. Rather than trying to awkwardly hide all this technology, BMW's Shy Tech philosophy makes it a core, visible design feature. It's an honest approach that says, yes, I am a computer on wheels, and this is my face. This all sounds like a good corporate presentation, but is the strategy actually working? Well, the numbers are the undeniable proof that the plan is succeeding. While the internet was having a collective meltdown, the M division celebrated its 14th consecutive record-breaking year in 2025, selling over 213,000 cars. The supposedly hideous M3 family set a new sales record of its own. While the electric i4 M50 had been the best-selling M car for 3 years straight through 2024, it was dethroned in 2025 by the new X3 M50, a performance SUV. And the best-selling high-performance model, the purest of the M cars, that title went to the controversial M2. The growth story is everywhere you look. Nearly 1 out of every 10 BMWs sold worldwide in 2025 was an M model. And what about the craziest design of them all, the XM? While its sales have been inconsistent, its primary mission was to be a headline-grabbing provocateur, a role it has played to perfection. BMW's head of design, Adrian van Hooydonk, was brutally blunt when asked about the online criticism, stating that there was no backlash from customers reflected in the actual sales data, and that, in fact, quite the opposite had happened. The people who are actually spending the money, the customers walking into dealerships, either love the new look or they simply care more about the class-leading performance, technology, and luxury that come with it. But just when you think BMW is permanently locked into this era of shock and awe design, they're preparing for another monumental shift. It's called the Neue Klasse, or New Class. And make no mistake, it will be a complete philosophical and technological reboot of their entire platform and design language, which will eventually underpin dozens of new models. The Neue Klasse concepts promise a dramatic return to cleaner, simpler, and more elegant shapes, but reinterpreted through a futuristic lens. It appears they're moving away from the gigantic, chrome-laden grilles and focusing more on that shy tech philosophy, where advanced features are seamlessly and almost invisibly integrated. The centerpiece of this new interior is a revolutionary concept called BMW Panoramic Vision. We're already seeing hints of this new direction. This tells us that BMW is keenly aware that the era of pure shock value can't last forever. The controversy was a powerful tool used to command the world's attention. The Neue Klasse appears to be the master plan for what to do with that attention now that they have it. So, why is modern BMW design dominating, despite being so controversial? The answer is as simple as it is brilliant. The controversy is the marketing. For the last 2 decades, BMW has been meticulously following a playbook that proves, time and again, that outrage generates far more attention than quiet, polite approval. BMW isn't losing its mind. It has been strategically punking the entire automotive world, using polarizing design to start a global conversation. And as the sales charts irrefutably prove, while the internet is busy arguing, BMW's customers are busy buying. They have successfully turned public backlash into market dominance, proving that in our hyper-saturated world, being talked about is the only thing that truly matters. But what's your take? Is this strategy a stroke of long-term genius? Or is it a short-term win that's slowly eroding the brand's soul? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.